Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Egan, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V, series V's I've been doing for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I want this to be delicious, but I'm guessing it probably is going to be a little bit of a letdown. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, yeah, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And that's absolutely the case today. I got off work about half hour ago or so, and I was making my way home, and, originally I was just planning to head on home, but had a pretty good night at work. I did all right, got a little bit of a added, nudge to my check for going over there and coming up with a nifty idea that hopefully is going to help some stuff out. And I was like, fuck it, man, go over there and have a nice little celebratory thing on my way home. Nothing too grandiose, because I'm a man of the people, folks, when it comes down to it. You go over there and you give Brandon Wenzel $800 million. What's Brandon Wenzel going to do with it? He's going to go over there and probably fix up his fucking house, pay off the debts that he has, help a few of his friends and family out, and then, I don't know, probably go over there and invest some of it and try to help out, like some villages or people who are underprivileged or something. I watch stuff like that, and it just, makes me fucking so goddamn sad. Mind you, then it's like, well, Brandon, you could do that stuff now. You could help underprivileged. Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. But if I had $800 million, I like to think that I wouldn't be as big of a hypocrite. Maybe I would be. I also would go over there and pay bands that I like to get back together and play concerts for me. So there's that. But anyway, where did I end up going? What am I reviewing for you? I decided to hop on out to Boom Dunkin' Donuts because it was on my way home. Plus, I review stuff from Dunkin'. I've reviewed a number of things from Dunkin' Donuts. So many, in fact, I have an entire playlist for just Dunkin' reviews. So this is going to end up there. This happens to be their donut of the season, because we are in fall at the time I'm doing this. It is their Boom Apple Cider Donut, which is it's like, I don't know if it's a Midwest classic or if it's I don't know how far reaching it is, but I know that, the Midwest, it's a big thing. I love apple cider, and last year I reviewed my very first apple cider donut. This is a Dunkin' Donuts version of that. But let's get a thing for a thing, and then let's give it a shot. Looks like this. I'll kind of... let's see. See through the eye of the donut. Let's give it a go. That's a very cakey donut. It's funny, I review stuff from Dunkin', like I said, all the time. Very rarely they're donuts. It's okay, actually. I'd say the biggest point of contention I have is just it's a very dry cake donut. It does, I'll say this. It does have kind of a nice spiced apple sort of taste. It's not super duper prominent. Not like if it were an apple frosting or something, but it's definitely there, and it's actually pretty nice. In fact, when I did their review last year of the apple cider donuts, it wasn't from Dunkin', it was some, pre-packaged stuff that I got at a supermarket. One of the things I remarked about the fact was I wasn't really getting a lot in the way of apple flavor. You think apple cider donuts, but this actually does have some apple flavor, and again, it has a lightly spiced flavor. I will say that I think that, especially with it being an apple cider donut, I think you could go heavier on the spice, because I know for me, I love an apple cider, and I've actually reviewed a few apple ciders. You can look up those reviews if you're interested. I like an apple cider that's got some bite to it. This, I don't know if I'd call it bite. It's got a bit of a nibble. A along the lines like what my cat does when she wants to play. You know, she's like, nom, 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 nom. Like, you're a silly cat. And she's like, nom, 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 I'm a cat. That's how our interactions usually go. She's a very good cat. Yeah, it's fine. In fact, I'll say it actually exceeded my expectations. Because again, I mean, Dunkin', yeah, they're known, you know, they're Dunkin' Donuts, although these days they're just Dunkin'. You know, the fact of the matter is, like, I don't know too many people go to Dunkin' Donuts for quality donuts. You go more because, you know, you get a dozen of them for, you know, you're going into work or something like that, share them in the office or some shit. That's kind of what they're there for. And it's fine, it serves a purpose. But, credit where it's due. Like, I wish it was less dry. A little bit less dense and cakey, but, you know, it's a cake donut. And it's not bad. Like I said, it's got a nice little sort of hint of an apple flavor, a little bit of a spice flavor, some sweetness to it. It's honestly not bad at all. Like, I think if somebody went over there and gave me a dozen of these, I'd be relatively happy about it. Not as happy as, you know, they went over there and just, you know, gave me a dozen Boston cream donuts, because, I mean, come the fuck on, those are the best goddamn donuts ever. But this ain't bad. I think I would probably prefer it in munchkin format, because then you could kind of just get that one bite, you know, all encompass it, and just get all the flavor in one go. But still pretty good. I'm not complaining too much. 2 questions have to be asked though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? On occasion, and sure. Like, this, by the way, is their kiwi watermelon refresher. I just got through reviewing this. Go look up that review. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I'm pretty much dead set. Now that we are properly in fall season, I want to find a really good apple cider donut. You know? Not one that's prepackaged in a thing. You know, like, I want to get one that's, like, either freshly made or, you know, like, just put out, something like that. Because I love the idea. You know, I think apple cider, like, that's just amazing. Donuts are great. Apple cider is one of the best things ever. You know, but until that time, when I find that penultimate apple cider donut, the fact of the matter is that this one isn't bad. And, like, yeah, I could see myself grabbing it again on occasion. Not often, you know, because I don't get any Dunkin' Donuts often. And I think realistically, if I was getting another Dunkin' Donut, I'd probably get a Boston Cream. But I could get this and be not unhappy about it. Now, if they could go over there and make an apple cider donut, like, drink of some sort, you know, latte or what the fuck ever, that could be some shit right there. Apple cider Dunkin' refresher. Mm-hmm. But if I'm recommending it to people, like, you know, again, I think what are you expecting out of it? You know, are you expecting like it to be full and vibrant, full of apple cider flavor? It's not quite that, but it does have an apple cider essence to it. It's not bad. The donut itself is okay. It's not great, you know, but it's fine. It's a workable donut. It's Dunkin' Donuts. You know, I think that it meets or slightly exceeds the expectations you have for it. And so I think if you go into that, sure, get yourself one. It's not a bad seasonal donut for what it is, but they've certainly had better. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly apple cider-tastic rest of your life, because apple cider is good. Who doesn't like apple cider? Apple cider is good. Final 2 things. Number 2, that actually reminded me. My grandma had apple cider for the very first time, thanks to me. Yeah. Last month, I got to see her. Been about a year since I'd seen her. She finally moved back up north. And at one point, we talked about the fact that she'd never had apple cider. So I went out of my way to get her some apple cider. But I didn't see her drink it, so it's possible she just skipped over it entirely. But I don't think, it's my grandma. Grandma wouldn't lie to me. Grandma might lie to me, but I don't think she'd lie to me. She's a good lady. But anyway, final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do since I was talking about my grandma, who, by the way, is one of the greatest grandmas in the history of grandmas. In fact, I would remark that both of my grandmas are top-tier grandmas. Sadly, my grandma on my mom's, or on my father's side, passed away when I was, very young, but she was a great grandma too, man. Seriously. And I had a great grandma on my dad's side. She was an awesome grandma also. Man, my grandpas were both cool. Like, I had a really good run of grandparents. Seriously. Going into that, make sure, as long as your grandparents are cool, some grandparents suck, let's be honest. Make sure, that, they know that you love them and all that good stuff. Sometimes it can be a little bit easy to not get that in as much as we should. And I know for me personally, my grandfather on my mom's side, he passed away earlier this year. And that was a little bit of a hit, especially since I hadn't talked to him in a while. I would have liked to have seen him one more time before he passed away, but, it just didn't work out that way. So make sure, if you love your grandparents, if they're good people, go over there, give them an extra big hug for me, or, fist bump, or whatever your, grandparents' colloquialisms are. Anyway.